What's going on, guys? Dave's here to talk about fantasy today, man, because it's about to approach week 6, and it's time to start thinking about the state of your fantasy roster with the bye weeks beginning this upcoming Thursday. So, if you haven't done it already, make sure you like and subscribe to the channel. We do fantasy content. Rashad is about to start doing his draft content. And we go live every week at 8:30 to go over the Panthers game. We talk a little bit of NFL. We go through the game within the game between with the Panthers game as well. So make sure you come out and join us there. But today is focused on fantasy. This is my waiver wire Q&A, where I will take your questions regarding on what we should do with the waiver wire this week. But this is a unique time period when it comes to the fantasy season. Now we're in the bye week period. Now it's time. This is where your ability to draft well and scour the wire comes ahead, because now you're going to have weeks where you might not have your Alvin Kamara's, you might not have your Derrick Henrys, you might not have your Christian McCaffreys and your Dalvin Cooks and your Stephon Diggs and your Cooper Kupps and your Justin Jeffersons, because now it's time for the bye weeks. Now, with regards to who's on bye for week 6, we have the Atlanta Falcons, the New York Jets, the New Orleans Saints, and the San Francisco 49ers. So obviously, the big loss for everybody for the most part is going to be from the Saints, particularly with Alvin Kamara. With the Falcons, if you've been playing Cordell Patterson, now you're going to have to do a week without Cordell. Mike Davis, not so much. Really didn't play last week, so I think you guys already got an adjustment in for that since they're on bye with the Jets. Corey Davis is probably the only guy that you would play. Maybe Jamison Crowder, so you're not too worried about them. The 49ers, Deebo Samuel's a big loss for you guys. George Kittle's been hurt, so I don't think you should be too concerned there. But the bottom line is now this is where the wire becomes a huge factor, ladies and gentlemen. This is where the wire becomes a huge factor, and this is where you need to make some moves. But besides the fact that we're about to start the bye week this week, you also need to start thinking about some of these injuries that's been happening. And there's 2 injuries that occurred from the running back standpoint that you got to think about. One is Clyde Edwards-Helaire from the Kansas City Chiefs. It looks like he has a knee injury, and he's going to be out 2 to 6 weeks. The guy behind him is Darrell Williams, so he should be near the top of your heap when it comes to waiver wire pickups, especially if you had Clyde Edwards-Helaire. Darrell Williams should be the first guy up for bid for that. One of the first guys up for bid. There's been talks that Marlon Mack might get traded to the Chiefs, but I'm not ready to tell you to go take a flyer on Marlon Mack quite yet, because unless that happens, he doesn't really bring that much value to you. If you have the space, like if you're a team that's 5-0 and you got a slot, and you know you're not going to be able to get Darrell Williams, take a flyer on Marlon Mack. So with regards to that, another injury you need to worry about, and I think a lot of folks anticipated this, is with Saquon Barkley. Saquon Barkley, his freaking ankle he has a low ankle sprain, although his ankle looked like a freaking cantaloupe. They had a picture of his ankle, looked bad. Kind of shocked that's considered a low ankle sprain. He's probably going to be gone for a couple weeks, but when you factor in the fact that the Giants bye, I believe, is week 10. Let me double check that just to be sure. Yes, the Giants bye is week 10. So when you take that into account, you probably need to go ahead and start thinking about getting Devontae Booker, who I think is the top waiver wire target this week if you're in desperate need of a running back, would be Devontae Booker, because he had the highest percentage of carries out of all the running backs last week in week 5. He got 88% of the work, which is pretty much the high, which is higher than Derrick Henry, which is shocking to think, but that is a fact. So yes, Saquon Barkley is absolutely the top. Not Saquon Barkley. Devontae Booker is the top waiver wire pickup for this week. Now, with regards to quarterback, since Eddie mentioned the concept of a quarterback, so I think long term, if you need somebody out of the 5 that's sitting out in the waiver wire, I like Teddy Bridgewater long term. But if you want to play the streaming matchup game, since you have Darnold and Lance, Tua is scheduled to come back this week. Tua is playing the Jacksonville Jaguars. Trevor Lawrence is always going to be a good pickup for you guys from a fantasy standpoint because he's going to always play from behind. So I think I would like Trevor past this week more than Tua, but from a standpoint of a matchup, Tua has a juicy matchup this week. But long term, if you want me to order the guys that you have down there, Eddie, I would say Teddy, Trevor, Wentz, Geno, Tua. If you just need a 1 week guy, I like Tua, but long term, I'd rather have the other 4 guys. I just talked about Booker. Yes, I think Booker is a good guy to go after in waiver wires. He's the top waiver wire pickup. From a wide receiver standpoint, let's stay with the Giants real quick. Kadarius Toney's the guy you need to go after. He's been getting a lot of work. Looks like he figured out the offense for the New York Football Giants. He's been getting a decent chunk of target share. I absolutely think you should go pick him up. I have Daniel Jones. Who should I stream this week? I mean, why should you stream if you have Daniel Jones? Who are the Giants playing this week? Because I need to understand why you want to stream if you have Daniel Jones. So who are the Giants playing this week? Giants. The Giants are playing the Rams. Nah, I still will play them. Defense be dead. Oh, wait, but he's concussed. He might not play. That is right. He's hurt. If you just need for a 1 week flyer, Tua, because I know he's out there. Tua, Trevor. Those are the options. It's not. You're right. I forgot he got concussed, and I saw that play. Burrow, Mayfield, or Wentz. Burrow easily. Burrow, give me Burrow. Yeah, that is right. He got concussed, and it was his fault. I saw what happened. That was absolutely his fault. But yeah, I will play Burrow. Out of those 3 quarterbacks, give me Burrow. Yep. Okay. So let's see here. Is there any other folks? When you want to talk about more quarterbacks that you could consider, Taylor Heinicke's been playing pretty well. I know that's not a sexy name, but he actually has been playing pretty well. Burrow's out? What do you mean Burrow's out? Burrow get hurt too? Oh, he had the throat contusion. That is right. Okay. If that's the case, based on those quarterbacks you had, I'll take Wentz, but I would rather, if you just need a temporary 1 week type of situation, man, I would go with Tua or Trevor over those other guys. I don't know if I want to trust Baker Mayfield. Would you trade Joe Mixon for Antonio Brown if you have Mixon, Swift, and Sanders at running back? No, because I don't trust Miles Sanders. So I'm not very high on Miles Sanders. If you trade away Mixon, you're going to put yourself in a bad state of affairs because Miles Sanders might be losing some of the work to Kenneth Gainwell. So no, I wouldn't do that. Yeah, I mean, Burrow's the pick. If he's not hurt. I mean, it was a throat contusion. So I don't know whether or not to make the move. Slim said he's here to make a deal. So let's talk about records after 5 weeks while you guys pour in the questions. What's up, Philly? Let's talk about the state of your squad based on your record. All right. We'll start with the 5-0 team. If you started 5-0, you're sitting in a pretty damn good spot. You shouldn't be complacent. You still should scour the wire as needed, and you should start thinking long term. If you haven't gotten your handcuffs, go get them now. If you look at your bye week situation, make some moves to prepare for the bye weeks that are coming down the pike. Those are the things that you do now. Because you have the lead, you're going to be at the bottom of the waiver wire most likely. So you're going to have to do some level of leveraging from that standpoint. So just think about it from that standpoint. Don't be panicking. I mean, take trade offers if you feel like you can get the better end of the deal. But don't trade just to trade. I tell folks that all the time. Don't just trade just to trade. Take trade offers if you can get the better end of the deal. You're 5-0. You're likely first in your league. So there's no reason to panic. and it's similar to 4-1 too. Like 4-1, you're in a good spot. You're in the playoffs right now. Just play it. Keep an eye on what's going on. Pay attention to what's going on with the players. Look at your bye week situation, and then go from there. Now, if you're 3-2, you might want to start thinking about making a little bit of moves here and there. Maybe you want to shuffle your team a bit, but then again, you're 3-2. You probably that's still a playoff team. You just need to keep up the pace. Hopefully, you drafted well and you have a deep roster so you can get through these bye weeks. But you should be able to hold it. You should be able to keep holding and grinding, and you'll make the playoffs. You can't make the money if you don't make the playoffs. I don't care what anybody says. It doesn't matter if you're the 1st seed or the 6th seed. You can't get in the money if you don't make the playoffs. 3-2, you're sitting in a better spot than most. Now, for my 2 and 3 brethren, you're probably about a game out of the playoffs, so there's no reason to panic. If your squad's been scoring at a high level and you just had some rough luck with the opponents that you had, you don't need to really panic too much with that regard. So just keep grinding. You'll probably make the playoffs. Just remember, you just got to get these wins going. Make trades if you're wise enough to make the trades, but then go from there. If you're 1-4, this is the time where you got to start. You're at the win now mode. You're not 0-5, so you're not needing a full panic mode. I made the playoffs starting 1-5, 1-6, so you can still make the playoffs even with a slow start. But now you have to start grinding. You got to scour the wire. Take advantage of the fact that you probably got a shot to get anybody you want in the wire. So you're gonna have to do this week to week so you get your roster built back up, because it's obvious that you probably got some busts. I mean, before last week, Myles Gaskins was considered a bust. I'm still not a fan of Myles Gaskin right now. There's been a lot of busts based on where they were drafted and things of the sort. If you haven't won a game yet, I think you need to consider making some trades. And it's very likely you're not going to get the better end of the deal. But I think you're going to be trading just to refresh your squad. But be smart about it. Like, don't trade don't trade people away that you think that can actually get you to the promised land. It's still a long season. And consider this. Now that there's an 18-week season in the NFL, that means there's an additional week in the regular season for fantasy for most of these leagues. So in essence, being 0-5 now, you still have 9 games to go. So you still have an opportunity to make the playoffs. 8-6 can make the playoffs. 9-5 can make the playoffs. 7-7 might make the playoffs. But the bottom line is, I think the important thing for you if you're starting 0-5 is making sure you get your point totals up. Because if you're 0-5, odds are pretty high that you're probably the lowest scorer in the league. Either you're the lowest scorer in the league or you've had the toughest schedule in the league. And that can happen, But if you are, you just need to start grinding, make trades if you feel like you need to make the trades. Let's see here. Should I start Miles Sanders or Gio Bernard? You got to start Miles. I'm just not a fan of him. If you're getting the CMC side, I would take that in a heartbeat. If you're getting the CMC side, I'm taking that in a heartbeat. But then, that's just my opinion. I wouldn't want to be on Chubb and Thielen. I want to be on the CMC side. Because CMC has the potential to be a top 3 running back every week. I think Chuba got a chance to be an RB2. Maybe like a low-end RB1, maybe. If they give him the same work that he had last week. But there's no guarantee that's going to happen. But I would rather be on the CMC side. Thielen, I like Thielen a lot, but we'll see. The injuries are always going to be here, though. Should I start Mecole Hardman or Robbie Anderson? I'm starting. God, that's tough. I would probably go with Mecole Hardman. I think he's getting more target share. I got to see it from Robbie, man. That's where I'm at with Robbie. Appreciate it, man. Appreciate it. I just received Diggs and gave away Hopkins. Did I do okay? I think Diggs is going to have a stronger second half. I could understand moving Hopkins, it's a risky. I mean, it's damn near even, but I think Diggs is going to have a better second half than Hopkins. So I'm not too mad at it, but yeah, I mean, it's kind of tit for tat. Both of them has kind of underwhelmed considering their draft status, if you want to keep it a buck. But yeah, man. I think in my personal opinion, I think you might have gave up too much to get Diggs because I think there's a lot of Diggs owners that'll probably give Diggs up for less than that. And it's funny because one of the leagues that I'm in is a guy, my cousin that I'm in the league with. He's 0-5 right now, and he just pulled a trade because he's trying to refresh his squad. And he told me that he could have gotten Diggs, and I told him you should have took Diggs because I think Diggs is gonna bounce back in the second half. Damian Harris isn't droppable. Good segue though. Ramondre Stevenson, the rookie running back out of New England, he's on the waiver wire. He needs to be picked up too. If you can't get your hands on Darrell Williams or Devontae Booker, he would be third on that running back list for sure. So from that standpoint, if you need somebody, that's another option. I wouldn't drop Damian Harris yet. I mean, they haven't out. He ain't out for the season, so I wouldn't drop him yet because I think as soon as he's healthy, he's going to be ready to rock. Appreciate it, Eddie. Appreciate it, bro. Let's see here as I go through the hourglass. I wouldn't have a problem with it if you make the decision to drop Robbie Anderson. Because I think that, like, it's like, for example, if Kadarius Toney is out in the waiver wire, I'd rather have Kadarius Toney. Stephon Diggs. I would check and see who has Stephon Diggs and look at that team's quarterback. And if that guy's quarterback ain't better than one of them two options, I would trade to go get Stephon Diggs in a heartbeat. Stephon Diggs, if you're like Slim, not convinced about CMC, and maybe that's CMC's owner's not either, shoot your shot. I don't think they'll pull a trigger on that, but I think Diggs is a really good trade target right now, in my opinion. Oh no, Robbie's very droppable. No, I would drop him in a heartbeat. If I had him, I would drop him because the thing is, I don't know what's going on with the Sam Darnold to Robbie connection, but it's obvious that the coaching staff got their way of wanting to run their routes. And that doesn't benefit Robbie one bit this year. Yeah, man, the Survivor League. Let me see. How many people are left in the Survivor League, man? Because I'm pretty sure, like, I almost got eliminated this week because I picked the Patriots. And some told me to go with the Titans, but I was afraid. So how are we doing with this? Let's see what's going on with the Eliminator Challenge. I think D-Hop is a victim of Kyler Murray's success. Kyler Murray is spreading the ball around a lot, so that gives leeway to people like your AJ Greens and your Rondale Moores, which now are fantasy viable because of the target shares that are happening. I think D-Hop is still going to give you he's still going to end up a top 20 wide receiver in fantasy, but he's not going to be the top 5 guy that we expected him to be anymore. And I think that's due to the success of Kyler Murray and his ability to spread the ball around. Yeah, give me a second, man. I'll pull the screen up. Let me make some adjustments here. All right. Let's do a share. I think AJ Green is good because I think AJ Green is a flex option from that standpoint. Yeah, I think AJ Green is absolutely a flex option from that standpoint. Yeah, I already used the Bucks. I used the Bucks week 1. I'll trade whoever gets you the best value for your guy. Like, if I would rather trade Brady right now over Lamar because of Lamar's rushing ability. So I would try to trade Brady. If I could get Diggs for Brady, I would do it in a heartbeat. But if you have an opportunity to trade Lamar and get like a haul, I would take the haul. You know what I'm saying? Like, like, because my thing is, I think it's pointless to have both Brady and Lamar there. Like, I think that's a pointless exercise. That's too many like, you got 2 top 5 quarterbacks on your roster right now, which tells me that there's some level of weakness going on in your roster somewhere else. Use one of these quarterbacks to fix your weakness. That's the way I see it. All right, so that's out. You can't get Diggs because there's no point in him trading if he's got Herbert, because Herbert's big time too. What the standings looking like? Let's look at the standings. Let's look at the standings of the PNP League. Your first place, man, and I'm sitting here in 6. Good thing top 6 make it in. No 0-5 teams though. I'm very happy about that. So we're sitting in a good spot. I got to get my points up. My points ain't where I wanted to be. I'm very low scoring. This is unsat. Like, things like this is what I pay attention to. Like, I'm the 11th best scorer in the league. I have no business being 3-2. None. But when you look at my squad, you can understand why. But I guess I probably benefited. And I've got the third easiest schedule. So, my 3-2 situation is a mirage right now. My 3-2 is a mirage, bro. I'm not going to make the playoffs if my points don't. Like, so when you look at rosters like this is the prime example. We'll look at this league for the sake of it. Rashad's not playing. Rashad's retired. When you look at my team, right? I've only scored 583 points, and my opponents have scored 586. So I've benefited from an easy schedule, to say the least. My team is in shambles right now. I'm not scoring enough points. Like, the top scorer has 100 points on me. That's a problem. So my team's got to pick it up on the points situation. I'm hurting. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. Like, I could easily collapse and miss the playoffs in this league if I don't start picking it up. I'm fortunate to be 3-2 right now. I'm very fortunate. Because all it takes is for me to lose, and then somebody else is going to pass me by easily because of my point total. I'm one of the lowest scorers in the league. So that's unacceptable from my standpoint. So I got to get some work in. Let me see. Hold on. Let me pull up my team. I mean, look at me. I'm starting the Williams brothers this week. And I have Alvin Kamara on bye. So yeah, man, Josh Allen, he had a slow start. He's picking it up now, but he had a slow start going into the season. And I just picked up Dawson Knox. AJ Brown is another guy that's been kind of in that fantasy bust realm. Thielen's been balling. McLaurin's been balling. My running back situation hasn't been that strong. So, I'm working through it. I'm going to see what I'm going to do. Like this week, because of the Saints, I don't have Kamara. And who's my opponent this week? All right, this is Austin. But Austin's probably projected to beat me. Oh, I'm projected to win. But Austin could easily beat me. It's very possible that Austin can take me out. If I can win this week, I can start my momentum shift and start winning some more games. But we'll see. I mean, it'll be interesting to say the least. But when you start looking at your options, like my running back situation is in shambles right now. I have a certifiable RB1, but I'm pretty much shuffling that RB2 situation. I'm hoping with waivers I can fix it, but we'll see. We'll see what happens with waivers. I'm hoping I can get somebody else better than Jamal Williams. Otherwise, it's going to be an ugly day. I could lose. I'm taking Damian Williams here. Nah, Kamara's still Kamara, man. He's still getting to work. I'm not panicking about Kamara. Kamara is still the 9th best running back in fantasy. I can't complain about that. That's top 10 guy. I mean, he's underwhelming from where you drafted him, most likely, yes. He's top 10 guy. Not too concerned. Not worried about him. The concern is this guy. This guy here has been a bust. Last week, he did better, but he's not doing what I need him to. No, he wasn't good last week. He's been trash. And now he's got Buffalo this week. Not cool. So we'll see what happens. This guy's been a bust. This one hurts. Luckily, Thielen's been kind of exceeding expectations. McLaurin's been doing decent, but AJ Brown has been terrible. If I can get him to my bench, I would like to, especially this week, because Buffalo's got a pretty damn good shutdown corner in White. So I don't think A.J. Brown's going to do much this week. And I got to go get a Saints defense. Left field question of the week. My league gives points for return yards. Should I pick up Jamal Agnew since he's getting targets now? Plus the Jags D to double up if he gets a return TD. The problem with the Jags D is that you might lose points because how terrible they are. So that's a risk. I mean, I don't have an issue with you playing Agnew. You probably should check and see if there's any other returnman that you can get that's more viable. I mean, I'm not mad at it. I'm cool with taking Agnew. I'm just concerned about Jags D. I agree here. I probably will be starting Pittman over Brown. But I'm waiting to see what the waivers look like. I started him last week because I started Brown last week because I'm thinking maybe he'll bounce back. But I've lost all faith in that now. So I'm holding that off. I'm holding him off for a bit. I mean, I did pretty well last week. I mean, I can't complain too much because I was in a must-win situation being 2-2 last week and I pulled it out. And my team scored relatively well. I don't know. I got to compare it to what the rest of the league did last week. Let me check and see. Because I scored 136 points. 136 points. That's good enough for fourth. I can't be too mad at that. That's good enough for fourth. Fourth for last week. So that's not too bad. That's an improvement. Yeah, he's getting the target share for sure. I told you guys to be messing around with Sam Darnold. I don't understand why you did that. You can't let your team buys get in the way. I would never started Sam Darnold over Lamar Jackson. Lamar Jackson is 9th in rushing or 8th in rushing and like 3rd in passing. And that's just one guy. Which goes by the way Eddie asked whether you want to trade Lamar or Brady. I mean, I would love to trade Brady. Trade Lamar. Only way I'll trade Lamar if I get a haul. Would you trade Kyler Murray and Robert Woods for Tyreek Hill? My backup QB is Aaron Rodgers. Rodgers hasn't been playing that well as a fantasy quarterback. I think I would do it. But man, I would do it. I would do it. Yep, I would do it. To get Tyreek Hill, that's worth it. That's worth it for me. I wish I could do it with Rodgers and Woods, though, because I love Kyler. But I would do it. I would do it. To get Tyreek, I would do it. Even though I think Robert Woods is going to bounce back too. I talked about this last week too, man. Like Sam Darnold has 5 rushing TDs, but he's 5 for 5 on the red zone carries, and that can't sustain. You know, just like as great a game that Lamar Jackson had last night on Monday Night Football, that type of day ain't going to happen often. Like that was a historic day for a quarterback than what Lamar Jackson did last night. That ain't going to happen every week. But he's been balling all season. So there's no way you can sit Lamar Jackson over most quarterbacks. He learned your lesson, man. Yeah, luckily you didn't lose because you would have been sick. And I like to call that getting cute. Don't get cute. There's no point of getting cute. All right. For the sake of competition, I will change my squad because I would like to show you guys some of the situations I got. Like this league here, I'm 2-3. And 2-3 in this league is good for worst team in the league. Check out these standings. This is what a competitive league looks like, ladies and gentlemen. I'm the worst team. So yeah. And this is another situation where I got a low scoring squad too. I think I'm the lowest squad. I got the lowest points in the league. So that means I gotta get more wins. But yeah, man. So yeah. I am 2-3, but I'm only 2 games out of first place. So it's all about perspective. And I plan on winning. I plan on getting back in it. I'm only a game out, so I'm not panicking. But look, there are 8 teams that are 2-3. So it's gonna shuffle up a lot, and I'm not gonna move too much unless I keep winning. So I got to start winning some games. Last week was bad in this one. Let me see. This was bad for me. This was bad. Yeah, this was bad. I got destroyed last week. It was pretty ugly. Yeah, it was a pretty ugly one. But anyway. Let's see here. But yeah, let's look at who's available in the waiver wire. Since I know I'm going to get the first guy I want, so let's see who's available. Let's look at the running back situation here. Projections. So there's the guy I'm going after. It is a no-brainer. No-brainer. Now, who will I drop? Who will I drop? I haven't. Oh well, I already got my moves in here, so I'm gonna move him. I'm gonna move him to the top. And then that'll be that. All right. I could probably get rid of this one. I don't need this one. We can cancel this claim. And I will, let's see. I'll probably go after some others too. I probably will. Yeah, I think I'm ready to drop Curtis Samuel, yo. But yeah. I mean, I like my chances here. I need a tight end. Like I'm out here playing Tyler Collin, so I need to see what the tight end situation is looking like. Tight end. Let's see here. Ooh, Zach Ertz. I'll pick him up for this week. Who should I drop? I'll drop Darnold. Wait, what's the bot? Wait. Before I do that, schedule. When are the Titans bye week? Titans bye week. Oh, I got time. All right, yeah. Darnold, you're gone. It's been real, buddy. Yeah, I'll drop him. The button's in the way. You would think that that's what I'm dropping to get. I'm gonna go after Tony too, and I'm gonna drop him. I'm done with Curtis Samuel, yo. I can't do it. And there's too many other good wide receivers in these streets that I could go grab. So we're gonna go ahead and work on that. We'll start with Tony. I like Tony a lot. Tim Patrick's a guy. Tim Patrick's out there in your league. You need to go after Tim Patrick. Yep, that's why that is it, sir. That is why I went after Zach Ertz. That is why I did it. Because if he just got on the COVID list, there's no way he's going to be able to make it for the game on Thursday. Point blank, period. So, all right, Curtis, you're gone. Continue. And let's see. Let's see. What's the quarterback situation looking like? These guys. Yeesh. I could. Ooh. Well, he ain't been lifted off IR yet, so I can't do that. Ooh, Teddy might have a really good game against Las Vegas. Whew. Yeah, that might be the move if I don't trust Tannehill. He might have a really good game. Teddy might have a really good game against Vegas after what happened this week with John Gruden. So yeah, all right. I gotta debate that one. All right, let's go ahead and unshare real quick for the people. We'll stop the screen. Okay. Nah, I mean, no. I think Zach Ertz is the guy we'll get right now, for the time being, at least for this week. If you have Dalvin Cook, you should already have Alexander Madison. I will be shocked if Alexander Madison is still out in these waiver wire streets, because Alexander Madison has shown that he can play pretty damn well. If Dalvin Cook's not there, there's talk that Dalvin Cook might be out again. So if I was you, if he's out there, go get him. I don't know, man. I don't know. I think if you're desperate, I think I would go with Geno, but I can't do it. He's old, bro. He don't look good. Everybody can't beat Tom Brady. Yeah, man. dude, this is not like that team is going to be in flux because that whole situation with John Gruden, man, that's a morale killer for a team. Even though he did get out of there swiftly, that's a morale killer. All right, let's see. Chase Edmonds for Matt Stafford. I don't know if I want to do that. All right, let's see here. Let's see. So I can pull up my sleeper league. Mm-hmm. Let's see here. All right, and I guess I should show you a league where I'm actually doing well in, huh? I will. Yeah, I agree. The admin side absolutely wins that trade, Slim. I wouldn't start Geno. Seattle still don't have offensive line, bro. I wouldn't start Geno. He did play well, though. I will say that. All right, let's see if I can remember how to pull up the standings here. I'm 5-0 in this league, man. Let's see. Scores, trending, league. There we go. There's the standings. I'm 5-0 here, and I'm the third highest scorer in this league. So I mean, I'm sitting in a good spot. So the top 6 teams make the playoffs in this league. And top 2 seeds get a bye. What running back should I get for Debo and Pittman? 4-point PPR. I mean, you should be able to get like an RB2, I would think, for them. You try to give up, well, if you give up both, you might can probably stretch a RB1. But then you got to ask yourself the question, maybe you can give up one and grab and try to get the Barkley owner to bite. I would do something like that, or maybe get CEH if you have some level of patience, or and not you won't have to necessarily give up both. It all depends on how desperate you are at the running back position. From that standpoint, but I mean, you're not going to be able to get like a CMC or an Alvin Kamara for those 2 guys if that's what you're looking for. That's not gonna do it. I can tell you that right now. I don't think it'll do it. But yeah, man. Yeah, being 5-0, I'm in a good spot. I guess I can show you my squad. So this league is different, man. You get points by the carry. You get points per carry, which is why I like Saquon Barkley in this league. But unfortunately, he got hurt so soon. Also, you get points for carries. It's a PPR league. You have to start 5 receivers. 2 got to be pure wide receivers, and then you have 3 wide receiver tight end flexes. This squad has 4 tight ends. I picked up Sam Darnold. I'm going to be dropping Sam Darnold because I gotta go find my replacement for Barkley. In this league, let me pull up the players. Let's see here. The players. These are the players that are available. I would trade a wide receiver 1 for Dalvin Cook. Heartbeat. Especially if I can get my hands on Madison. Like if I have Madison, I would try to leverage to get Cook. If I could try my best to get Cook, I would trade a wide receiver one to go get Cook. Y'all probably can't see these players. Let me blow this up a bit. All right, that's a little bit better. Uh-oh. It's not letting me. Uh-oh, that's not good. Ooh, that's not good. Oh, that's broken. Huh. That's weird. Well, that didn't work. So for running backs, we already kind of know who I'm going to go after. And this is a salary cap league, so you got to spend money to pick up players. So we'll see. I gotta outbid everybody for this. Wide receivers are very slim because you ain't got too many to go after. So yeah, there ain't too many guys. I mean, the only guy that I might consider going after is Van. I like Van. I'm kind of shocked my buddy dropped him, but we'll see. Quez Watkins is interesting. There's a couple guys I like out of here. John Ross. Deshaun Jackson, Pringle, but these are all desperate type of pickups. Tight ends might be the more viable option, really. I mean, if you start thinking about it, because if Zach Ertz is in here somewhere, or Mo Ali Cox, so there's a couple other opportunities there. Deontay Johnson, that ain't gonna be enough. You could try it. It ain't gonna work. That ain't gonna be enough, man. Not for Dalvin Cook. I know he's hurt, but that don't mean you can. I mean, that ain't. I'll be stunned. Start Gaskin or Boy full PPR. Gaskin has one game, and everybody's like, "Nah, we got to start him." Man, I don't trust it. I mean, you probably start him this week because they're going against Jacksonville. So I would pick Gaskin this week because of the matchup. But he looked rough around the edges, man. A lot of folks dropped him after week 4. So Baker's a free agent because he does suck. That is correct. I just traded Mixon and Antonio Brown for Cook. Thoughts? Oof. It's fair. But you see, for you to trade those players, that means you must have a strong wide receiver core to be willing to trade that. It's somewhat fair. It's pretty fair. It's pretty even, actually, from the standpoint of the value of Cook returns, because Cook is a top 3 running back in fantasy. You gave up a top 15 running back and a top 25 wide receiver, so that's not too bad. But you see, like, you're giving me the trade without context. You're not telling me who else you have. So what did you have to? So I'm assuming Mixon's probably your RB1. If he was an RB2, then yeah, this is a good spot for you. But he probably was your RB1. And if that's the case, who's your RB2? What do your wide receivers look like? Because if you're telling me Antonio Brown was your wide receiver 1 or a wide receiver 2 for you, then I'm going to be questioning, like, yo, what are you doing? Because you're going to be risking your depth. Who do you have on your bench that's going to play? If you were starting Antonio Brown, who are you playing? So you said Swift and Barkley's your other running backs. All right. So basically what you just told me is that, all right, so now I gave away Mixon. All right. I gave away Mixon to bring in Cook. And I'm going to start Swift at RB2. That's not bad. That's an upgrade from the running back position. And then when Barkley comes back, you can throw Barkley in the flex. And you got Swift, Cook, Barkley. That's formidable as hell. But what about your wide receivers? I think C-Mac is coming back. Now, you'll know before game time whether or not he's going to be back. You'll probably know Friday for sure if he's coming back. If he's the only way you might not know for sure is if they say that he's a game time decision. But it looks like, this coaching staff will set him to doubtful. If he's set to doubtful, it's pretty safe bet he ain't playing. All right. All right, man. It's been fun. I'm gonna close it out. I gotta work tomorrow. My first time in the office for almost 2 weeks, so I gotta get my mindset ready for that. Ooh, man, these wide receivers ain't strong, buddy. That means you got to start Corey Davis and Brandon Cook every week. You gave away your best wide receiver because Antonio Brown's probably outscored all these guys. Maybe he might have less than Cooks. You gave up. Your wide receivers are hurting. You need to go after Kadarius Toney in waivers this week. I don't think there's any other wide receiver worth going after, to be honest with you. If Tim Patrick's out there, you definitely need to go after him. But yeah, that hurts. That's brutal. I mean, when Judy comes back, you might be okay, but Judy's going to be a while. Ayuk has been a certifiable bust. We don't know when he's going to come back. And I don't know if you can trust him anyway right now with Trey Lance. Trey Lance is hurt. So maybe if Jimmy G returns, you might be okay, but we'll see. But all right, man, I'm going to close this out. Make sure you like and subscribe to the channel. Follow me on Twitter. Here's my Twitter handle. This is my personal Twitter handle. You can follow me. You can follow the show at Panther Nation PC. Shout out to Underdog Fantasy. Use the code PNP and get an additional $10 towards your first deposit. It helps out the channel a lot. So please, man, please, sir, check out Underdog Fantasy. There ain't too many places where you can win 20 times your money. With the pickup slips, I highly recommend it. Also, shout out to mybookie.ag. You can get double your deposit if you put some wagers in. And with that and using the code PNP, and with that in mind, like, subscribe, do all that great stuff. We'll see you guys later this week for the game preview. I'm thinking we're scheduled to do it tomorrow. And you guys have an awesome evening. And always remember, keep pounding.